Hi everyone, welcome to Vault's official YouTube channel. So on today's video, we are going to understand what decentralized finance is in very easy to understand language. So let me outline this concept by telling you a very simple story that, for example, if you want to transfer money to your friend in the US or in Australia, then what are you going to do? You are probably, let's say, sitting in Singapore. So you will engage DBS Bank. You will pay them some commission. You will ask them that, okay, hey, please take $100 from me, send it to my friend in the US. Then your friend in the US might have an account with JP Morgan Chase or some other US bank. So they will charge a commission. And eventually the $100 that you send from Singapore to your friend in the US, your friend might only end up getting $95. But in the DeFi space, the number of intermediaries, for example, the number of banking entities involved, they are limited. So as a result, the commissions goes down and your friend might end up receiving almost $99. So the point that I'm trying to make is that this DeFi space is extremely powerful. If you learn about it, then it can help you transact at lower price. It can help you make faster transactions. It can help you save commissions. It can help you do yield farming. It can help you do staking. All these are complex topics, so don't worry about it. I will explain the basics. But the bottom line is that DeFi space or decentralized finance space is a very, very powerful space. And a lot of companies, lot of traditional banks are also experimenting in this domain. So 4 specific points we will understand from this video. Number 1, what is DeFi? Number 2, how is it similar and different from traditional banking? Number 3, what are the primary benefits of DeFi? And finally, we will take a look at some important protocols in the DeFi space. So let us get the video started. So in order to understand what decentralized finance is, we need to quickly take a look at what centralized finance is. Centralized simply means that there is some kind of border or an entity that has created a closed ecosystem. This could be a bank like JP Morgan in the US. This could be a bank like HDFC in India. This could be DBS. This could be any other international bank. Why is it a centralized system? Because the books or accounts are maintained by JP Morgan. For example, if I give an instruction that transfer $100 to my friend in the US, then the HDFC bank is going to make an entry on its own books saying that $100 of Akshat's account have been debited and it has been credited into his friend's account. So these books are maintained by what? It's maintained by a centralized authority. In this particular case, HDFC Bank. So therefore, this system of financing is called as centralized financing. It typically shows that whoever is controlling that system and whoever is defining the boundaries here. On the flip side, if we go to the DeFi or decentralized world, it will have the following characteristics. First and foremost, the entities will work on the concept of distributed ledger system. It simply means that the books that I just spoke about, they are not controlled by one single controlling authority. These books are distributed all across the internet on a blockchain network, and anyone can have access to these books. Yes, I'm oversimplifying the concept just for explanation point of view, but this system is secure, it's fast, and it can also be anonymized. But the bottom line here is that this distributed ledger is not controlled by a central authority. The rules of this distributed ledger are already defined on a smart contract. For example, if we take a look at any DeFi protocol, for example, Aave or Compound or MetaMask, they are what essentially? They are a smart contract. Smart contract is basically a piece of code that is running on a blockchain network, and anyone can see these distributed ledgers, what codes are there, what are the set of rules, how these codes are being executed. So these are mostly open source and these can be easily accessed by anyone. So in short, a centralized system is controlled by a certain authority or set of authorities. A decentralized system is distributed in nature and it is not controlled by a single authority. This brings us to the second point, that if you currently understand the landscape of centralized finance or CeFi system, you will take a look at banks. There will be P2P organizations. There can be a bunch of fintech apps that are asking you to buy more credit cards or take debit cards, whatnot. But in short, what are the functions that all these different entities are performing? They are performing one of the following 3 functions or a combination of the 3. They are allowing you to lend, they are allowing you to borrow, or they are allowing you to transfer. Think about it this way, that if you go to a bank and if you are putting money in a savings account, what are you doing? You are typically allowing the bank to lend your own capital, because the bank might pay you a 2% interest rate or 3% interest rate on your savings account. They will take that money and then they will facilitate borrowing. So they will find new customers by passing on loans in the form of home loans or car loans or different consumer durable loans. So this is a typical function that a bank undertakes, that it helps you to lend money, it helps you to borrow money, or it helps you to transfer money. So these are the three specific set of functions that can also be undertaken on a decentralized finance network. But you might ask me that, okay, what is the benefit of moving from a CeFi network to a DeFi network? While there are multiple advantages of the DeFi system, let me talk about two most primary advantages here. One is that, as we discussed on the previous example, that the commissions get lowered, because if you're transferring money from India or Singapore to the US, then there is a series of banks that are involved in making that transaction happen. Now, as a result of the involvement of multiple parties, the commissions also become large. In some of the countries, the commissions can be as high as 7 to 10%, which is a very high rate. So under such circumstances, if you move to DeFi, you can easily transfer money at a very low commissions rate. Many of you might say that, okay, when we use Ethereum networks, we might end up paying a lot of gas fee. That is true, but if you use some of these smart chains like Polygon, then your commissions get drastically reduced. How to use it, we will talk on some other video, but it would suffice to conclude that on DeFi system, the commissions are inherently low. Why? Because the number of parties that are involved are very few to begin with. The second key advantage of using a DeFi system is the control that you have. Let me demonstrate that point by talking about the Robinhood app on the GameStop stock saga. Now, we might all be familiar with the fact that Robinhood is a fintech app in the US, which allows you to buy and sell stocks. It's one of the most popular apps in the US. And a few months back, a story unfolded. There was a stock called as GameStop stock, and essentially people or retail investors means small investors, they got a whiff that hedge funds are going to manipulate this stock. Then a lot of retail investors got active on Reddit communities and they formed a large group, so to say, and they started taking opposite positions compared to hedge fund managers. So as a result, retail investors were winning in this game. But suddenly Robinhood decided that, hey, we will stop the trading of this GameStop stock. So as a result, the retail investors could not benefit from this situation. Whether that was a correct move from Robinhood or not a correct move, that can all be debated. That is not the point. But the point here is about the control aspect of things. That the systems on DeFi cannot be manipulated by big players. Just because small players are winning the game, it's not as if that some DeFi protocol will stop running and will not allow you to execute your trade. But this type of situation frequently plays out on different fintech apps and on different trading platforms in the CeFi or centralized finance domain. Now, just to help you encapsulate more benefits, let me just quickly take you through a list. So the primary benefits of DeFi systems would be that, one, it is decentralized, it is available on a blockchain network, it is distributed and reliable, so people will have equal access to those ledgers. Second key point, as we spoke about, that the control or much higher control is there in terms of how you are engaging with those applications. Third, that the commissions are low and less friction is there. For example, when I transfer something like USDT to my friends in the US, not only the commissions are low, but the process is much faster and the process is instant. So therefore, the frictions are also low. Another key growing area here is that the range of applications that can be built on DeFi network or are rather being built on the DeFi network is impressive. So there is an entire array of applications that are being built on the DeFi network, which are challenging the current contenders in the CeFi space. For example, take a look at this particular chart, and this outlines that how traditional finance is being impacted by decentralized finance. So you can clearly see that traditional finance organizations like Bank of America has been challenged by something like Compound, which is a DeFi protocol. Similarly, NYSE is now being challenged by something like Uniswap. Now, of course, the scale at which DeFi currently exists right now, it's very small, but with time, with more user adoption, all these protocols might become bigger with time. The classic case in point is the growth story of Uniswap, that within 3 months of it being launched, the valuation of Uniswap reached somewhere around $22 billion, which is a very impressive growth for any organization. Similarly, you have protocols like MetaMask, Yearn Finance, which are adding more and more layers of functionality in this entire DeFi domain. Now comes fifth and final point, that as the development ecosystem or developer ecosystem picks up in the DeFi space, which is already picking, another layer of functionalities, ease of usages will kick in, and that will further improve the adoption. So with that viewpoint in mind, it becomes critical for us to understand the evolution of this DeFi space. So if you want to start learning about the DeFi space, then there are 3 specific protocols that I would point you to. You should start learning more about these protocols. The first protocol being MetaMask. So essentially MetaMask is a digital wallet. It's ERC or Ethereum based wallet, which allows you to keep a track of everything that you are purchasing in the crypto domain. For example, if you go and purchase NFTs, it will get reflected into your MetaMask. Similarly, if you are purchasing Ethereum-based cryptos, then it will again get reflected into your MetaMask. This is a very important DeFi protocol and it outlines your virtual profile in the crypto world, so to say. Second key protocol is the Aave protocol. It is very similar to how a bank works. And Aave protocol is a borrowing and lending protocol. It allows you to borrow cryptocurrencies and it allows you to lend cryptocurrencies. And you can do something called as staking by staking your money into Aave liquidity pools in order to make some fixed returns on your cryptocurrencies. Is that game dangerous? Yes, of course it is dangerous and you must learn more about it, but definitely start reading a little bit more about Aave. And third and final protocol that you must know is the Uniswap protocol. Uniswap, in simple words, allow you to swap cryptocurrencies that you have purchased. For example, if you want to swap between BTC and Ethereum, Uniswap would allow you to do that. So these are 3 very popular DeFi protocols that you must start learning more to understand this DeFi space, understand the risks, understand the prospects that even big firms are jumping into this DeFi space. Traditional banks are jumping into this DeFi space. Study it from a curiosity perspective. You will end up learning a lot of fascinating things about this concept. Also comment and let me know if you would want me to make an advanced video on DeFi. I'll be very happy to do it. Thank you so much and I will see you the next time.